The photos appeared on my Instagram feed at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday. My sister Orlithia had posted a carousel of images, showing off a big, beautiful house. The house looked like it came straight from the Mediterranean. It had a huge swimming pool that seemed to touch the sky, and giant windows that went all the way from the floor to the ceiling, looking out over the sparkling California ocean. Her caption made it sound like there was some exciting news. She said she was going to list this gorgeous Malibu house for sale this weekend. She said it cost $4.2 million, had ocean views, and had famous neighbors. She told people to send her messages if they wanted a private tour before the open house on Sunday. She even added hashtags like #luxuryrealestate, #Malibu Realtor, and #dreamhome. But the house was mine. I bought it 18 months ago with money I got from selling my tech company. I paid $4.8 million in cash. I didn't have a mortgage. My name was on the deed. My furniture was in the rooms. My paintings and art were on the walls. And now my sister, who had recently become a real estate agent after trying 3 other jobs that didn't work out, was apparently trying to sell it. But before I continue, hit the subscribe button and tell me where are you watching this from, and what time of day is it? I was in Singapore working on a deal for my new startup when I saw the post. My heart sank. I immediately called my property manager, Torin Kayleys, who lived in the guest house and took care of the property while I traveled. Torin, did you authorize anyone to photograph my house? I asked, trying to stay calm. Miss Kerr, I was going to call you, he said, his voice tight with anger. Your sister came by yesterday with a photographer and a staging team. She said you authorized it. I told her I needed to verify with you first, but she claimed you were unreachable and said it was urgent. She had some documents that looked official, so I stepped aside. But something felt wrong. She was taking photos to sell the house, and she kept talking about her commission. Documents? What documents? I asked, feeling a lump in my throat. A listing agreement and a power of attorney. They looked legitimate, so I didn't stop her, Torin replied. But I wasn't sure. It didn't feel right. I realized what had happened. Orlithia had forged a power of attorney to list my house. She did this without my permission. I felt a mix of anger and disbelief. Torin, I never authorized any of this. What would you like me to do? I asked. Document everything, he said. Save any paperwork she left. I'm worried this could get serious. I'm calling my attorney, I said. And I'll be on the next flight to Los Angeles. I hung up and pulled up Orlithia's Instagram again. She had posted videos of herself walking through my house, pointing out the luxury features to her 8,000 followers. She showed off my custom kitchen, my primary suite, and my private office where my acquisition documents from my last company were still on the desk. She was broadcasting my private space to thousands of strangers, pretending it was hers. I checked real estate websites. There it was, 2847 Pacific Coast Highway, listed by Orlithia Kerr of Prestige Coastal Realty. It said exclusive Malibu estate with celebrity quality amenities and motivated seller. I wasn't selling anything. My phone buzzed. A family group text. My mother wrote that she was so proud of Orlithia, calling this her biggest listing yet. My father said maybe Orlithia could help me find a smaller house, since this one was too big for one person. Orlithia wrote that this listing could change her career and reminded everyone about the open house on Sunday. Not one of them had asked me if I was actually selling. I felt completely ignored. I called my attorney in Los Angeles. Mailrick, I need you to shut down a fraudulent real estate listing immediately. My sister forged documents to list my Malibu property without my permission. Jesus, Nixera. How much is the listing for? Mailrick asked. $4.2 million. That's major fraud, I said. We're talking felony charges if she forged legal documents, Mailrick said. I know. I need the listing removed today, and I need to know what legal exposure she's facing, I said. I'll handle it, Mailrick said, sounding serious. But Nixera, this is your sister. Are you prepared to prosecute if it comes to that? I thought about Orlithia's Instagram post. The casual way she assumed my house belonged to her. The complete disregard for my ownership or consent. Absolutely not. I had to take action. I landed at LAX 18 hours later, exhausted but furious. Mailrick met me at baggage claim with a folder full of documents. The listing has been removed from the real estate sites, but it's still on her social media, he said. I've sent cease and desist letters to her brokerage and to Orlithia directly. The power of attorney she filed was definitely forged. Terrible forgery, too. Your signature doesn't even look close. The brokerage is panicking. Prestige Coastal is a small agency trying to break into the luxury market. This kind of fraud could destroy their reputation. Orlithia isn't answering calls. But she posted another Instagram story an hour ago confirming the open house is still happening Sunday. She's either incredibly stupid or in complete denial about the legal situation. We drove to Malibu. Torrin was waiting at the villa, looking stressed. "Miss Kerr, thank God you're here," he said. "Your sister came by this morning with a locksmith. He tried to change the locks. I prevented it, but she's threatening to call the police on me for trespassing. She even tried to fire me and evict me from the guest house." "Did she say why she was changing the locks?" I asked. "She said she needed to secure the property for showings. She also told me I was fired and had to vacate by Friday," Torrin said. "Torrin, you're not fired. This is your home as long as you want it. Did you save the locksmith's information?" "Yes, and I recorded the entire conversation with your sister on my phone. I wanted evidence in case this went legal," he said. I walked through my house. Orlithia had rearranged furniture for staging. She'd removed personal photos and replaced them with generic art. She had put hotel-style toiletries in the bathrooms and fresh flowers throughout the house. My private office had been transformed into a luxury study. My acquisition documents, laptop, financial records, and personal files were gone. "Where are my things from the office?" I asked Torrin. "They are in boxes in the garage," he said. She said they were cluttering the space and reducing the property's appeal. I found the boxes in the garage. My life was reduced to cardboard containers to make room for Orlithia's open house fantasy. My phone rang. It was my mother. "Nixera, Orlithia says you're trying to sabotage her career. She's in tears. Why would you pull her listing?" "Mom, it's my house. I never authorized her to sell it. She forged the paperwork. She committed fraud," I said. "Fraud? Don't be dramatic. She's your sister, and this is a huge opportunity for her. The commission on a $4.2 million sale would completely change her financial situation. Can't you just let her do this? Let her sell my house. You can buy another one. You have all that tech money. The technicality is that she's trying to sell my house without permission. Think about family for once. She's breaking the law," I said. She hung up. Mailrick reviewed the recordings Torrin had provided. "This is good evidence. We have her trying to change locks, claiming ownership, attempting to evict your property manager. Combined with the forged documents, this is a solid fraud case," he said. "What happens now?" I asked. "Realistically, she needs to cancel the open house, return your property to its original state, and face consequences for the forgery. If she doesn't comply, we file criminal charges and pursue a restraining order. And if she still holds the open house Sunday, she's compounding the fraud. Each potential buyer she misleads is another count of fraud. We'd also have her arrested for trespassing." I checked Orlithia's Instagram. New post. "Open house is still on for Sunday." She was calling her fraud attempt family drama. I made a decision. "Mailrick, I want you to coordinate with the LAPD. If Orlithia shows up Sunday with potential buyers, I want her arrested on site. She is committing fraud, breaking into my house, and trying to steal a $4.2 million commission by forging legal documents. She must face real consequences, or she'll never stop." Sunday arrived with perfect California weather. Sunshine, light breeze, ideal open house conditions. Orlithia posted Instagram stories throughout the morning. She got ready in designer clothes, arrived at her listing with coffee, and set up refreshments in my kitchen. She invited a photographer to document the event. She had spent thousands preparing for this fake open house. Torrin and I watched from the security cameras. Mailrick was parked down the street with 2 LAPD detectives who had been briefed on the situation. Orlithia walked around the house, smiling for the camera, arranging flowers, and placing fancy appetizers on tables. She even made sure the champagne bottles were chilled. She posed by the infinity pool and posted selfies showing the ocean view behind her. Everything looked like a real luxury open house, but it was all fake. Torrin whispered, "She doesn't realize the police are touring." I nodded, my stomach tight with anger and worry. Every time Orlithia walked through a room, it felt like she was stealing a piece of my life. My house, my memories, my privacy, it all felt invaded. Then a text from Mailrick. "They're on site. 2 detectives are ready. If she opens the doors to any buyers, she'll be arrested immediately." Orlithia didn't know. She continued preparing the house, moving chairs and arranging flowers. She even took pictures of herself with the snacks she had laid out, posting them to Instagram with captions about her big day. Torrin shook his head. She thinks this is just a regular open house. She doesn't understand what she's walking into. I took a deep breath. This was necessary. I had to protect my home. She couldn't get away with what she did. The first potential buyers arrived. They had seen Orlithia's social media posts. She welcomed them with a big smile and handed them brochures. Just as she was about to start talking about the property, 2 LAPD officers stepped in. "Orlithia care?" one officer asked. "Yes," she said, confused. "You are under arrest for fraud, trespassing, and forgery," the officer said. Orlithia's face turned pale. She dropped the brochure. I felt a strange mixture of relief and sadness. My sister was being arrested, but finally my house was safe. Torin came over to me. "Miss Care, it's over. Your house is protected now." I nodded. It had been a long, stressful few days, but the nightmare was finally ending. At 12:45 p.m., Orlithia's helper, a man named Richard, came to the house. He looked very nervous, like he didn't know how serious Orlithia's plan really was. Richard clearly hadn't realized how deep Orlithia's tricks were. They had a big argument in the driveway, and our security cameras caught the whole thing. "Orlithia, I told you to stop this," Richard said. "The owner has already filed complaints for fraud. We could lose our license. This is serious." "It's fine, Richard," Orlithia said, trying to sound calm. "My sister is just being difficult. Once people start making offers, she'll see the money and calm down." Richard looked really worried. "Your sister owns this house. You faked documents to make it look like it's for sale. They can't prove it's real, but it is still illegal. Orlithia, this is criminal fraud. You are breaking the law." But Orlithia didn't care. She was too busy looking at herself in a small makeup mirror, adjusting her jacket, and fixing her hair. She wasn't paying attention to Richard at all. At 1 p.m., cars started arriving. I looked and recognized some of the people from Orlithia's Instagram. There were real estate agents, people who wanted to buy a house, and social media influencers who came to make videos. About 20 people walked through my house. They were taking pictures, talking about offers, and filming videos for Instagram. Orlithia acted like a perfect hostess, walking people through the rooms, pointing out things, and even making up lies about my life to impress them. She said things like, "The owner is moving to Europe. Very motivated to sell quickly. I already bought a property in Monaco." I had never been to Monaco, and I couldn't believe what she was saying. She was lying to everyone and pretending she had all the rights to sell my house. At 1:30 p.m., Torin and I walked in through the front door. Orlithia was in the living room with a young couple who were talking about making an offer to buy my house. "Nixara, I didn't expect you to stop by," Orlithia said with a nervous smile. "Everyone, this is my sister, the owner. I mean the former owner," I said loudly, playing along at first. Actually, I meant the current very angry owner, because my house was being sold by someone who had no right to sell it. The couple looked confused, and other guests started paying attention. "Nixara, can we talk alone?" Orlithia asked through gritted teeth. "No," I said firmly. "Everyone here should know that this house is not for sale. You do not have permission to sell it. You faked legal documents to make it look like you could." Orlithia laughed nervously. "I'm joking. It's just a family drama. You know how it is." "I am not joking," I said. I pulled out my phone and called Mailrick, my lawyer and friend. Within minutes, Mailrick came with 2 police detectives from the LAPD. The people at the fake open house ran away quickly as soon as they saw the police. Orlithia was frozen in shock. "Orlithia Care," Detective Nymeria Vale said. "You are under arrest for real estate fraud, forgery, and trespassing. You have the right to remain silent." Orlithia's face turned white. "This is insane. Nixara, tell them it's a misunderstanding." "It is not a misunderstanding," I said. "You faked a power of attorney to sell my house. You broke into my house many times. You tried to change my locks and kick out my property manager. You were tricking everyone here by pretending you had permission. And being my sister makes it worse, not better." The detective kept reading her rights. Orlithia looked at Richard, her helper, who stepped back with his hands up. "I can't help you, Orlithia. You did this even though I told you not to," he said quietly. The guests all left, some filming on their phones. Orlithia's Instagram plan was collapsing, and everyone could see it happening. Her perfect social media world was falling apart in real life. "This will ruin me," Orlithia whispered as the detective put handcuffs on her. "You ruined yourself," I said. "I helped you in life and gave you many chances, but I can't let you break the law against me just because we are sisters." Orlithia spent 6 hours in police custody before our parents posted bail. The charges were very serious. She could have gone to prison for 5 years just for faking the power of attorney. Richard immediately quit working for her, and her real estate license was taken away while they investigated. Videos of her arrest went viral. Thousands of people shared them. Local news websites and real estate magazines picked up her story as an example of what not to do. That night, my mom called crying. "You had your sister arrested at her open house. You ruined her life," she said, sounding hysterical. "She tried to steal $4.2 million from me, Mom," I said. "She broke the law many times. The police had to be involved." My dad took the phone. "Nixera, she made a mistake. Can't you just drop the charges?" "It wasn't a mistake, Dad," I said firmly. "She planned this for weeks. She faked papers, made people come to my house, tried to change locks, and wanted to get a huge commission. That is not a mistake. That is a crime." Neither of them had a good answer for that. The criminal case took 4 months. Orlithia pleaded guilty to smaller charges. She got 2 years of probation, 500 hours of community service, and a $50,000 fine. Her real estate license was gone forever. The civil case took longer. I sued her to pay for the damage to my house, the cost of fixing it, and for all the trouble she caused. She had to pay $175,000. That was exactly the money she had tried to steal from me. My parents helped her pay it by mortgaging their house, but they were angry with me. They stopped inviting me to holidays. A year later, I sold the Malibu house myself with my own agent for $5.1 million. Torin helped me find a beautiful new house in La Jolla, and he manages it too. Orlithia moved to Arizona and works in a store. Her Instagram is now private, and she doesn't post about houses or fancy lifestyles anymore. We haven't spoken since her sentencing. Sometimes I think about that day. My sister, Orlithia, served champagne in my living room, showing strangers through my bedroom, calculating how much money she could get. She thought being family would protect her from the law. She thought I would care more about her career than my own property. She thought that being sisters meant she could do anything without consequences. She was very wrong. The property manager calling the police didn't just stop the fake open house. It showed an important lesson. Family does not mean you can break the law. Family means you should know better than to hurt people who trust you. Orlithia learned that lesson in handcuffs, in front of everyone she was trying to impress. Some people might think that is harsh. I call it justice. And I call it the last time anyone in my family will think they can take what is mine. The whole thing taught me something very important. Just because someone is family doesn't mean you should let them hurt you or cheat you. Being a sister or a brother does not give you a free pass to lie, steal, or break the law. Orlithia tried to trick people and get a huge amount of money that wasn't hers. She thought she could get away with it because we were related, but she was wrong. Even after all this, I still remember the way she smiled at the young couple and the guests at the fake open house. She was pretending everything was fine while secretly planning to steal from me. I remember how calm she looked fixing her makeup while Richard begged her to stop. She thought she could control everything. But when the police came, everything collapsed. Her Instagram followers watched as her plan fell apart. Her dream of making a lot of money quickly was gone in a few minutes. Richard, her helper, looked shocked too. He had been part of the plan without fully understanding it. When Orlithia got arrested, he finally realized the seriousness of what we were dealing with. He stepped back, knowing he could not help her. I felt a mix of relief and sadness that day. Relief because the house was safe, and Orlithia could no longer trick people. Sadness because family can sometimes hurt each other in ways you don't expect. I had trusted her in the past, helped her with money, and supported her. And she had tried to betray that trust in the worst way. Even now, years later, I still think about the lesson this day taught me. Family is important, but the law is more important. You cannot use family as an excuse to do wrong things. And trust, once broken, is very hard to fix. Orlithia learned that lesson in the hardest possible way. In handcuffs, facing the police, in front of everyone she was trying to trick. This story is not just about me and Orlithia. It is about understanding that doing the right thing is always better than trying to get money or fame by hurting someone else. You might think that being clever and sneaky will help you, but eventually, the truth comes out. And that is exactly what happened at my open house. Orlithia thought she could make money, impress people, and get away with it because we were sisters. She was completely wrong. The police came, the guests ran away, and her social media fantasy fell apart. She had to face serious consequences, and she had to pay for what she did. I like to think that my story is a warning for others. Being family doesn't mean you are above the rules. Trust is not a magic shield that protects you from making bad choices. Orlithia learned that lesson the hard way, and I hope she will never forget it. Some people might think I was too harsh by calling the police and pressing charges. But the truth is, if I had not acted, she would have succeeded in her plan. She could have tricked dozens of people and taken a lot of money that was not hers. Sometimes justice means making hard choices, even with family. This was the last time anyone in my family tried to take what was mine. Orlithia lost her license, had to pay fines, and her dreams of being a famous real estate agent were gone. I sold my house on my own terms and moved forward with my life, safer and wiser.